Hello, Ajahn Vidyatida. We are from the group 16. Today we will come to presentation about the food hygiene. Okay, for the next point is what is food hygiene. I will let the Bob to explain that point to all of you. Please welcome Bob.
What is food hygiene? Food hygiene is the process food for consumer safety, from cutting farm to selecting raw material from farm that are reliable, clean, and trustworthy. Used in clean chicken hygienic, going to the consideration of serve food to consumer safely, correctly, and making sure that we should eat good, safe, and not bring the bad quality to the consumer. And next, we will back to Chai. He will talk about intro of what is the food hygiene.
For the introduction, about what is food hygiene. Food hygiene is a condition and measure necessary to confirm the security of food from the production to consumption. The food you choose to make sure that it's hygiene, such as the pork, chicken, or fish, and the equipment you use to serve on board. You should avoid the equipment or utensil from lead, because that thing can release some lead into your food and then make its contamination. Moreover, raw material obtained from the natural source, such as marine animal, the natural environment of the water source that must be away from the industrial sources for the prevention the chemical residue from the environment, and how to keep raw material from mixing chemical in raw material used in food processing. Mainly fresh food such as vegetable, fruit, meat, and you will consider about the temperature to get along with your raw material. Okay, from more detail about cooking utensils such as pan, pot, spoon, and dish might not have contamination of the toxic substance which that implies have to be shipped from the good quality of standard factory.
Do you think inside food safety or not? A case of mass food poisoning among the passengers on an airliner could have disastrous consequences. For the example, on February 12, 1992, shrimp trained with cholera was served on airline as Argentina's flight 386, and every passenger died and other passengers fell ill. So, what do you think about this? The food on board may be comfortable to the passenger, but how much you touch on food that cabin crew serve to you, more or less. So next, we will show you about the food pathogen by gel.
Botulism. Botulism is from eating foods that contain botulism toxic, which is caused by the placement of Clostridium botulinum in food. Botulism in food may occur within 2 to 36 hours after consuming contaminated food. How to prevent botulism? Refrigerate foods and cooking foods thoroughly. Our food containers. Okay, and Burschius coreus is another bacteria found in pathogenic soil. Its properties are gram positive. Those shape bacteria that go well in both presence and absence of the air. And Burschius symptoms begin between 6 to 16 hours. However, diseases caused by this type of infections are not contagious. How to prevent Burschius? Serious use high temperature during cook and store food above 60 Celsius and avoid food store type of protein combined with the flour.
Bacterial disease. Bacteria are microscopic single-cell organisms that live almost everywhere. Bacteria live in every climate and location on Earth. Next is how to bacteria get in food. Bacteria may be present on products when you purchase them, including savory food, ready-to-eat food, and contaminated products, all by poor personal hygiene. How to prevent? You need to know 4 steps: clean, cook, chill, and chill it. Next, we're gonna move on. What is step food poisoning? Step food poisoning is gastrointestinal illness caused by eating food contaminated with toxin products, while the bacterium Staphylococcus aureus bacteria. How people get step food poisoning? You need to know. Example, people who carry step can exterminate food if they don't wash their hands before touching it. Next is how is step food poisoning treated? The most important treatment is drinking plenty of fluid. Antibiotics are not useful in treating this illness because the toxic is not affected by antibiotics.
For the definition of parasite, parasites are organisms that provide nourishment and protection from other living organisms known as hosts. They may be transmitted from animal to human, from human to humans, or from human to animals. Several parasites have emerged as significant cause of foodborne and waterborne illness. There are 3 main types of parasites. First is protozoa, second is helminth, 3 is ecoparasite. And for the cause is parasite infection can be caused by 3 types of organisms. First is protozoa. Protozoa are single-cell organisms that can live and multiply inside your body. Some infections caused by protozoa include giardiasis. This is a serious infection that you can contact from drinking water infected with giardiasis protozoa. Second is helminth. Helminths are multicell organisms that can live in or outside of your body. They are more commonly known as worms. They include flatworm, tapeworm, and roundworms. For the last is ecoparasite. Ecoparasites are multiple cell organisms that live on or feed off your skin. They include some insects such as mosquito, fleas, ticks, and mites. Parasitic infection can be spread in a number of ways. For example, protozoa and helminth can be spread through contaminated water, food, waste, soil, and blood. Some can be passed through sexual contact. Some parasites are spread by insects that act as a vector or carrier of the disease. For example, malaria is caused by parasitic protozoa that are transmitted by mosquitoes when they feed on humans. And what type of food that we can find parasites? Most of parasites are found in food that use raw ingredients such as fish, shrimp, shellfish, pork, vegetables, and food that have not been cleaned properly, including water that has not been certified for cleanness. Therefore, should avoid eating raw or semi-raw food. And for how to prevention, to increase your chance of avoiding parasite, you have to find out which kind are present in your area or in location you may travel, and take precaution, for example, using insect repellent in places where mosquitoes are common, and be careful to eat only well-cooked fish and meat. And when you're traveling, drink only water from bottle with a seal top. For the disease that can cause by parasite, there are three main types of parasite that can cause disease. First is protozoa, can cause to amoebiasis, itch, and malaria. Second is helmintic, can cause to filariasis, Kiona worm disease, and heartworm disease. The last is ectoparasitic, can cause to myiasis, pediculosis, and scabies. Virus is a very small organism. It is smaller than bacteria, and it can cause disease or viral infection in people with many diseases. The virus has a special characteristic, which is it cannot live on its cell. It needs to live in the cell of other organisms, and we cannot see the virus with our eyes. The foodborne viruses are those transmitted through the consumption of food and beverage, as they originate within the intestines of humans and animals. These viruses are predominantly spread out feces and other body fluid. The contamination of food stuff with pathogenic virus is often caused by poor hygienic practice in the production line. For the cause, the origin of all foodborne viruses are the intestines of humans and animals, as such viruses are often shed in feces or other body fluid. Foodborne transmission of virus occurs through contamination of food by infect food handles due to poor hygienic practice, contact of food with animal waste, sewage, polluted water, or food. And next is what type of food is it in? The main food associated with viral foodborne illness, including shellfish or aquatic animal, fruit, vegetable that grow on the land, fertilized with animal waste, or irrigated with contaminated water, and undercooked meat such as pork. How can foodborne viral illness be prevented? To avoid the risk and spread of foodborne virus, food safety and maintaining good hygiene is very important throughout the handling of food items. For example, washing hands and avoid cross contamination by using different chopping boards for meat and vegetable can help to stop virus from spreading. To cooking at certain temperature can also help to kill any virus. Raw or undercooked food are higher at risk of containing foodborne virus.
Salmonella type. The most common symptoms are diarrhea, fever, abdominal cramps, and vomiting. Symptoms typically occur between 12 hours and 36 hours after exposure and last from 2 to 7 days. There are two species of Salmonella, Salmonella burgeri and Salmonella enterica. With many subspecies, infection is usually spread by eating contaminated meat, eggs, or milk. Other foods may spread the disease if they have come into contact with manure. And how to prevent the Salmonella? To prevent survival and growth of Salmonella, food workers and consumers should be educated about the need to cook meat, poultry, and egg thoroughly, and the need to wash hands and utensils with soap and water immediately after they have been in contact with raw meat, poultry, or eggs. Pasteurization of milk, hygienic slaughter practices, and thorough cooking of those foods can reduce the risk of becoming ill. So the next one is Clostridium perfringens. Clostridium perfringens is a spore-forming gram-positive bacterium that is found in many environmental sources as well as the intestine of humans and animals. It is commonly found on raw meat and poultry. It prefers to grow in conditions with very little or no oxygen. And under ideal conditions can multiply very rapidly. Some strain of it produces a toxin in the intestine that causes illness. To prevent the Clostridium perfringens, cook and keep food at the correct temperature. Especially roast of beef and poultry should be cooked to a safe internal temperature external. And the leftover foods should be refrigerated at 40 Fahrenheit or colder as soon as possible and within 2 hours of preparation. It is okay to put a hot food directly into refrigerator. However, a large amount of food such as soup, stew, and big cut of meat, such as roast, should be divided into small quantities before refrigerated. The food have dangerous bacteria in them, may not taste, smell, or look different from regular food. So any food that has been left out too long may be dangerous to eat, even if it looks safely.
Okay, we'll talk about cholera. Cholera caused by a waterborne bacterial infection. Cholera is transmitted through contaminated food or water or through contact with fecal matter or vomit from infected people. A patient can lose up to 25 liters of fluid per day. Cholera can cause surf, diarrhea, and vomiting and rapidly prove fatal. Within hours, if not treated, but cholera is very simple to treat. Next, what kind of food is in it? Most contaminated food will become contaminated with water because water is an important ingredient to cooking, including use of water to wash vegetable or fruit, especially in fresh service like us, must be safe in arranging food before serving to passengers. And how to prevent? We can prevent water treatment. Correct water treatment helps to eliminate the infection. The use of water from sources of water that can be considered germ, such as satellite water or heat treat water that will reduce the chance of this disease occurring.
Prevent of food contamination and food hygiene. For the passenger, I think there are ways that can be used throughout everyday life. Before they eating, they have to washing their hands before trash or wrap some food into their mouth. Yes, and there are 100% for prevent the bacteria into their body. Yes, and I think the passenger should eat the food that have 100% cooked, not raw, such as chicken and pork. For both of things must have well done, cooked, not raw, not rare anymore. And okay, in the term of the airline and supplier of raw material procurement department, I think they have to responsible to inspect every step of production of raw material or the quality clamping of vegetable use, as well as maintaining cleanliness and sanitation in each each cooking per se and loading into the container before serving to the passenger. And every process should part in the inspection from the food safety certified institute, such as Department of Public Health, ISO 9001, or GMP, or HACCP. Yes, everyone does it. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and you can recommend our presentation. Thank you.